Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Joined here with Beth again today. We thought we'd do a video today, Beth, on how to implement more video into your business. So video marketing, obviously, as introverts, it's one of those things. If we can get it implemented into our business, it's not exhausting because there's not a lot of interaction with others typically with video. So it can be a great thing, and it can be tough to get started. So Beth, I thought this was a great topic. Beth, I'm going to have you start. We've got actually 6 different things that we thought would be helpful. And this could be if you're doing video currently and maybe want to improve it a little bit, or you don't even know where to start. I think this will be applicable to everyone. So Beth, why don't you start us off number 1 on implementing more video?
Sure. So the first thing I would say is on video, it's really important to get to the point, especially on like a reel on Instagram. You have just a few seconds to captivate your audience. And so you got to get to the point quickly. Think about what you're going to say and start off with like a captivating punchline right away. Like, let's talk about the drama that just happened at my closing. And then you go into the story, but like captivate them right away.
Perfect. One thing I've heard too is you do not have to introduce yourself on video. They already know who you are based on the page that you're posting from. So just jump right into it. Like Beth said, you've got like the first couple seconds where either they're going to decide, yes, I'm going to listen to this video or watch it, or they scroll past and move on to the next one. So I think that's a great number 1. Number 2 on there would be, don't be perfect. And this is maybe tough for us. I think introverted, or maybe a little bit of anxiety, social anxiety with wanting to have it look perfect and appear perfect. Beth, I know even on these videos, you and I, sometimes we say stuff and it's a small group here, of course, but we like, oh, that didn't sound quite right. But you got to get past that, because when you're in a conversation with somebody on the street, at lunch, whatever, it's just back and forth dialogue, and it's not always perfect. There's things that don't come off quite right. So hitting record, getting right to the point, like you said, number 1, and then number 2, just don't worry about being perfect. Don't reshoot it 5 different times. Just go one and done. Would be point number 2 there. So.
Number 3, I would say, especially for realtors, it's really easy to struggle with, well, what am I going to talk about? And my suggestion is real life scenarios. So sometimes we have something that went bad. Maybe you record that video, but you don't post it for a few months because it might have to deal with a current client. But if it's, hey, this is why it's important to do a final walkthrough, and then you state your story. Or why do I tell my sellers they have to do a thorough clean? This is why. Or why sometimes you might need to just hire a professional cleaner because things get chaotic right before moving. But all of those stories, and we know as realtors we have them, share them with the general public. I think for one, we're always like, oh, look at me, I had a closing and everything's perfect and all my sellers and buyers are so amazing. And our job looks great, and it is. But we need to show people the real life scenarios of like what is happening in the trenches.
100%. I think sometimes your profession's maybe a little bit more exciting than the mortgage. Like, we can't say, oh, I locked a loan, when you can say, oh, we, under contract in 2 hours or whatever. But that real life stuff, mortgage side, there's, people that quit their job before closing, don't realize their credit score, taking a hit because they did this or that. There's all these different things that can come up. And there's content daily in what you do. So just, just relating to that, I think is great. So, number 4 would be just to schedule it. And Beth, I know you do a way better job at this than I do, keeping a schedule, but if you put it in your calendar and you've got an appointment with a client, you're probably going to keep it, right? If you've got an appointment with yourself, sometimes it's easy to just delete it because you're busy on something else. But putting a time in your calendar to just knock out social media and make it non-negotiable, and that would usually include video as well. So I think that was Beth's advice there, and I think that's a good one. So.
The next one I would say is things that seem basic to us are not basic to always the people that are watching our videos. So I had a situation the other day where I went and met with a seller who also wants to buy. And so it was explaining the process of, if you find another house first, you have to write a home sale contingency, and that house can still be stripped for you while we're waiting to secure your current house under contract. And they're like, nobody's ever explained that to me. I had no idea. Like, I thought I got my dream house when they accepted yes. And it's like, well, with the home sale contingency, no, not until we get it under contract. That seems basic to me. It's not to the average person. So why not educate in video what that all means?
Yeah, I was thinking about on the mortgage side, one of the things that got a lot of views was you have 15 days to make your mortgage payment before you have a late fee. And that would seem like on the loan officer side, well, that's just basic. Nobody cares. But it's the little things that we do every single day that the average consumer or home buyer has no idea how they work. So you could even say that same stuff over and over again, I think, because nobody's necessarily listening the first time. They're not going to be like, oh, Beth talked about this back in April. I can't believe she's talking about it again. It doesn't work that way. So I think the basics and repeating the basics, you've got a ton of content right there. And then the one that's hard for me, Beth, honestly, is number 6 would be don't worry what others think, specifically within the industry of what you're doing with video and marketing. And I think it's so easy to be like, well, so-and-so's, they have a video production department and their stuff looks way better. Or who am I to give advice when, I'm not the top producer necessarily in town. And I think we all tell ourselves those stories as well. But number 6 there would be just worry about your own stuff and not what others think. So we got six things there, Beth. I think they're pretty good. Just a quick recap. Get to the point. Number 1. Number 2, don't be perfect. Number 3, use real life scenarios. Number 4, schedule it with yourself to make sure it gets done. Number 5, basic info is not necessarily known by everyone. And then number 6, don't worry what others think. So Beth, anything you'd add to those 6 points?
The only thing I'll add is a challenge that, I challenge all of you watching this video to just go out and create something. You've probably heard it before, but 80% perfect is better than not doing it at all. So don't worry about being perfect. Just get out there, record. And then once you shot a video, put a comment in this video that says, I did it. And then we can go all support you.
I'll even say one other thing to that. If you don't even want to post it, but just recording it, getting in the habit of talking to your phone, which might feel awkward at first. But if you do that for 20, 30 days, and even if you haven't posted a thing, it's going to look way different at the end than it does day 1 or 2. So if you can't quite get over number 6, which was worrying what others think, just record it and don't post it anywhere. Even if you want to post it in the group, just for a little bit of feedback, I'm sure we'd love to see it as well. But great points, Beth. Anything to close us out?
No, have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk soon.